March 8, 2026, Red River Unitarian Universalist Church hosted the Reverend Dr. Mark Y.A. Davies speaking about cosmic humility. He says of his topic, "In a universe with trillions of galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars, we should view our lives on this pale blue dot of a planet in a solar system on the edge of our galaxy with an appropriate amount of humility while embracing and treasuring the gift of experience that we all enjoy. What will it mean for us when we soon definitively discover that we are not alone and that the cosmos is teeming with life? We are not the center of the universe, as so many past generations thought, but our lives and communities are nevertheless still important and possess inherent worth on this world that is our only home." Welcome from Red River Unitarian Universalist. Thank you for joining us. The religion we practice in this church is centered in the here and now, rather than the hereafter. It is more of a thinking kind of religion than a believing kind. It is governed more by reason than by tradition, more concerned with the present than the past. It is concerned with getting the most out of life, with living wisely and well. A major aim for us is continually expanding our understanding of life and ourselves. This church is a community of people who share in the free and open search for a level of understanding that will enable us to be more fully and effectively alive. The church does not tell us what we must believe. It stimulates us to think. It supports us in our search. You are welcome to join us. Our centering value is love, with transformation, generosity, equity, interdependence, justice, and pluralism.
Ein bisschen Deutsch, a little bit of English.
For 5,000 years or more than 250 generations, human beings have been invoking spiritual power. My predecessors and yours have gathered together to make sense of their lives and their place in the cosmos. And they have spoken aloud and invited what they conceived as sacred and powerful to be with them. They called upon the spirits of air and earth, fire and water. They called the bear and the deer. They asked for the raven to protect them. They pleaded for the heroes of old to slay the monsters of their fears. They sang songs they learned from their grandparents and moved in the appointed ways, or in the ways that were new, but felt like the right thing to do. And they imputed power to these spirits and to the memories of those heroes. They called them gods, and they were invoked. Vishnu and Kali, Elohim, Odin, and 100 million others. Every group of people everywhere. They gathered to make sense of their lives and to make sense of their place in the cosmos, and they called these spirits to be present to them. And so do we. So do we. We gather this morning to make sense of ourselves and this universe in which we live as best as we are able. And we call ourselves to be together and to invoke the power and wonder of life itself, that to which all those spirits of animals and memories of heroes pointed the way. We invoke that power which is, we know, always around, always with us, but which we sometimes forget about. We forget that we are part of the whole creation. We forget that we are stardust. We forget that we are capable of miracles, first among them that we can love. We forget these things, so we invoke the power of existence so that we can remember, so we can lift our eyes and open our ears to the true and beautiful. For 5,000 years or more, we have done this in many tongues, in many ways. We have done this. And so we continue that ancient tradition in our way and in our time as we come here together. At this time, we have an opportunity to light our candles of community on the table. You can light a candle for a joy or a concern, to remember someone, or simply to bring more light into our space.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreams. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time. We are daughters of dust, sons of great visions, sisters of mercy, mothers of love, lovers of life, and builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We're makers of peace and wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. Mothers of courage, fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and mothers of love. We're lovers of life and builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We're makers of peace and wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one.
Hear these words for our chalice lighting. Our light is the light of the sun, keeper of all we love. Our light is the light of the earth, provider of sustenance. Our light is the light of all living things, life precious like our own. Our light is the light of each of us, bound together in need and hope. Our light is the light of the cosmos, keeper of all we know. Let's join together in the spoken affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and freedom, and to help one another. We light this peace candle to remind us of all the places in the world where there is no peace. Join me now in the words on the screen. Lead us from death to life, from falsehood to truth. Lead me from despair to hope, from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love, from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. I'll have our UU snippet time.
Eva Novak wrote this snippet, but she couldn't be here today, so I told her I would do it for her. So I would read it for her. So this is what's a covenant. A covenant is a Unitarian Universalist UU church is a sacred voluntary promise among members regarding how they will behave and treat one another. It acts as a guide for right relationships and emphasizing trust, love, and community, and often includes commitments to justice, democratic process, and personal spiritual growth. Our UU covenant defines how members act in community. It's called the Behavioral Covenant, and it's on the wall up in the Gil Alexander room. It unites members by their promises to each other, not by a common set of beliefs. Our affirmation is a type of covenant. It is rooted in Unitarian Universalist Association principles, and it represents living agreements that are made, broken, and remade, requiring ongoing attention and effort. Our beliefs are diverse and inclusive. We have no shared creed. Our shared covenant is embodied in our 7 principles, which support the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. It is also embodied in our affirmation and our 6 values. More information on Behavioral Covenant is available on our Red River UU website.
As many of you know, it is time for our annual stewardship campaign. Stewardship comes in many forms. Sorry, I'm shorter. It comes in time. It comes in effort, volunteering, working, providing supplies, so in-kind donations. And these things are extraordinarily valuable to this beloved community. But we also need money. It is unfortunately what our world turns on. As we all know, with the current administration, prices for everything have gone up. What we worked with last year will not work this year. And it didn't really work last year until some beneficial occurrences happened. I would call them miracles. This year, we need everyone to commit to supporting our beloved community in one way or another, especially if you can commit with your hard-earned funds. Thank you.
Jack, you didn't notice I had to bring that back up. Our opening thought comes from Carl Sagan, from his book, The Demon-Haunted World, Science as a Candle in the Dark. Sagan writes, "Science is not only compatible with spirituality, it is a profound source of spirituality. When we recognize our place in an immensity of light years and in the passage of ages, when we grasp the intricacy, beauty, and subtlety of life, then that soaring feeling, that sense of elation and humility combined, is surely spiritual. So are our emotions in the presence of great art, or music, or literature, or acts of exemplary, selfless courage, such as those of Mohandas Gandhi or Martin Luther King Jr. The notion that science and spirituality are somehow mutually exclusive does a disservice to both."
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, till my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue road home. Sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge and wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the light of the heavens and our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, read the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Our next reading is from Albert Einstein, The World as I See It. The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion which stands at the cradle of true art and science. Whoever does not know it and can no longer wonder, no longer marvel, is as good as dead, and their eyes are dimmed. For our meditation this morning, we'll be hearing the words of Don W. von Forster, "Like pendulums we swing." Take a moment to make sure you're sitting comfortably, perhaps both feet on the ground or whatever is the most comfortable way for you to sit. If you'd like to close your eyes, you may. Let's all take a few deep breaths. Breathing in and out. In and out. Like pendulums, we swing from hunger to hunger, from hunger for the one great truth, absolute, eternal, mystical, to hunger for simple, near-in, familiar truths that change as we change, grow as we grow. Like pendulums, we swing from hunger for cosmic imperatives, commanding us to expand ourselves, to hunger for immediate and authentic inner promptings, urging us to be ourselves. We be right with heaven, so we swing outward. We would fulfill our own heart, so we swing inward. We would grasp the holy, and we would create ourselves. We have this dual hunger to serve the cosmos that commands us to become more than we would and to be our genuine selves, content with what we are. So we ride this pendulum in hunger for life. We ride from truth that calls us out to truths that call us in. And all because the gravity of life pulls across our hunger, never allowing us to stay on one side or the other, always moving us into new urgency for the wholeness that would bind both the cosmic and the personal. And so life pulls us, and we swing from truth to truths, from cosmos to self, from mystery to clarity, from out to in. It is our state to swing and to be drawn ever into another swing. This is the motion that makes ours a human life. May the great gravity of life, which pulls us along an unknown, holy axis, never let the pendulums we are cease swinging until the truth we seek and the truths we are one. Our next reading comes from Lisa Kaltenegger and her book, Alien Earths. She's the director of the Carl Sagan Institute at Cornell University. She writes, in science, by finding new ways of seeing, such as catching the light from dimmer objects in the huge mirror of the James Webb Space Telescope, we are able to detect what we could only imagine before. New insights transform our understanding. These images are a touching testament to the cooperative spirit of humanity. It took thousands of people from all corners of the world to make that vision a reality. Among the first images released, one revealed a detailed view of the light from a scorching, puffy, giant planet, WASP-96b, shrouded by layers of clouds, haze, and steam. It blasts around its star twice a week. While devoid of life, the James Webb Space Telescope image proved that the Space Telescope can explore the atmospheres of other, smaller Earth-sized planets given more time, places where life could thrive. As a member of one of the scientific teams behind the James Webb Space Telescope, I work with a creative group of scientists to explore these new worlds in our cosmic horizon. Discovering life on another planet would forever revolutionize our entire world view. as amazing as the Hubble telescope was and those images, the James Webb Space Telescope was even more amazing. And as amazing as the James Webb Telescope is, there's another one that's going to be ready by 2030 that will be even better. So our ability to peer out into the universe is increasing by the day almost. This it's good to be with you. As you know, last week I couldn't be with you. My parents have been experiencing some major health problems, and I needed to be present in Lawton, Oklahoma, which is, as you know, my hometown where I grew up. Both of them are doing a little bit better this week, a little more stable, and are in the nursing center there in Lawton, and I'll be headed back that way after our time together today. But when I was staying at my childhood home over the last couple weeks and working remotely with OCU, I had some time to spend some time in the backyard of my childhood home, and one of those nights there happened to be a full moon just a number of days ago. And when I looked up and saw that full moon, it reminded me of the times that my dad and I would lie on cots in the backyard and we'd just look up into the night sky. And back then there was a little less light pollution in Lawton than there is now, and so we could actually see quite a few stars. Even today you can see a good number of stars on the western edge of Lawton. And so we just look up at the night sky and talk about, as a 10 or 11-year-old could, about the mysteries of the universe. My dad says I had some really good questions back then about the mysteries of the universe at a young age. And we just talk and look at the sky until we fell asleep. And so one of my most cherished possessions that I have now is a telescope, which no longer really functions, but I keep it in my study at home in Edmond, a telescope that my parents gave me because of my curiosity about the universe in which we live. When I was a young boy, that curiosity made me want to be an astronaut. Maybe a lot of young boys back in the 70s wanted to be astronauts. There was a lot of things going on that inspired us to think about being astronauts. I got to meet astronauts when I was young because my uncle worked for Rockwell International, and he was the PR person for the space shuttle. So I got to meet the commander of the Apollo Soyuz mission, and that inspired me even more to want to be an astronaut. But then I got too tall. Back then you couldn't be over 6'1" or so. You had to be less than 6'1". And I also, my eyesight got bad, so I didn't have 20/20 vision. So that quickly made the vision, the dream of being an astronaut an impossibility. But my curiosity did not wane. My curiosity about the universe did not wane. And when I was 13 and 14 years old, already too tall and having bad vision and not being able to be an astronaut, I watched Carl Sagan's Cosmos over and over again. And my dad made tapes of it, so I watched it more than once. And that show on PBS opened a new universe up for me in terms of understanding the world in which we live. And I'm delighted to know that the Carl Sagan Institute at Cornell University continues that commitment to understand our place in the universe, to understand our responsibility as persons within this vast and mysterious cosmos and this earth that is our only home. In a universe with at least trillions of galaxies, we know there's at least 2 trillion, we think now, and estimates are that it could be up to 6 trillion. And that's just what we know, what we can guess from what we know about the universe. And we know that each of those galaxies has hundreds of billions of stars on average in each galaxy. given that we know that, we should view our lives on this, what Carl Sagan sometimes refers to as a pale blue dot of a planet in a solar system on the edge of our galaxy. We should view our place with an appropriate amount of humility. We're not it. We're not the center of the universe. And we can have humility while still embracing how special it is that we live on a planet like this, how special it is that we are living this gift of experience, this gift of life that we all enjoy, although we don't use it as well as we should often. So what will it mean for us? What will it mean for us when we soon definitively discover that we are not alone and that the cosmos is teeming with life, that there's life probably in every galaxy out there multiple times over? What will it mean for us, and how will it change our view of ourselves and our view of our responsibilities in this world when we find that evidence? When it becomes really clear that we're not the center of the universe, and that even though so many past generations thought that, right? I mean, in fact, there were some scientists that lost their lives or some came close to losing their lives as well, because they made that realization. They had that realization that the Earth is not the center of the universe as so many past generations thought. But even though we're not the center of the universe, our lives and our communities are nevertheless still precious, still important. They possess inherent worth, and we all possess inherent worth, inherent value, intrinsic value on this world that is our only home. So I'm currently reading, almost finished now, with the book that I read from called Alien Earths by Lisa Kaltenegger from Cornell University. And it is clear from reading this book and looking at the research that's being done that we are really close, within years, maybe within this decade, maybe before 2030, we're really close to being able to identify life on other planets. We've learned so much about the cosmos during my lifetime, and I'm hoping that when we identify life on other planets, it will be one more step to bringing a greater sense of humility to all of humanity and a greater appreciation for just how fortunate we are to live on a planet that sustains so much diversity of life. And I'm hoping that we'll all do what we can to preserve our only home. We've been given an amazing opportunity in our species' existence of being one aspect of the universe that has become conscious of itself. We've become conscious of ourselves, and we have become part of the consciousness of the universe. We're able to catch some glimpse of what brought us to have this remarkable perspective in relation to the rest of the cosmos. And this reality calls us to an attitude of awe, it calls us to an attitude of respect, but I think it also calls us to an attitude and expression of deep responsibility to preserve this amazing planet which made our consciousness and our community a possibility. Any use of our consciousness that divides us from each other, or that brings unnecessary suffering to other persons or to other forms of life, is a misuse of our gift and a rejection of our sacred responsibility as an expression of the consciousness of the cosmos. As humanity, we find ourselves in a precarious position now, in which the evolution of our knowledge and our ability to adapt and understand the world around us has given us the ability to come to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the rest of life on Earth and the cosmos as a whole, while simultaneously giving us the ability to manipulate, coerce, and even destroy the very planet we live on. At least be able to destroy all of humanity and much of life on Earth with it. Our generation finds ourselves at a crossroads in which we must either find a way to live at peace here on Earth or suffer the consequences of the pride of thinking that we are the center of the universe, the hubris of thinking we are somehow greater than the rest of life or somehow disconnected from it. When we become aware of the vastness of the universe and the likelihood of so many other communities of life in the cosmos, maybe it will lead some of us to a feeling of almost infinitesimal smallness and insignificance. But I don't think that's the only response that we should have. It also could lead us to a sense of awe and wonder that we are the product of at least billions of years of cosmic evolution that have led us to this moment in which we are an expression of the cosmos becoming aware of itself, and in which we are experiencing lives of potentially deep and wondrous community. If only we could find ways to work together, to express ourselves in love, to work together, to express ourselves in peace with one another and with the rest of the community of life on Earth. That vision's sometimes difficult to see in the world, especially in a week like this. May we turn away from our cosmic hubris, from our pride here on Earth, the misplaced pride that we are somehow the center of the universe, and may we move to a cosmic humility expressed through gratitude, expressed through responsibility. The more we learn about our place within the universe, the more we understand our awesome responsibility to care for each other and to care for our Earth. No one's expressed this more eloquently than Carl Sagan when he reflected on our pale blue dot with the following words. Many of you have heard these words before. I'm going to read them again. I asked one of my college classes this week, had they heard of Carl Sagan? Barely. Had they heard of the pale blue dot speech? No one. So I played it for them, and they were like, wow, why have I never heard that? He wrote, when looking back on the pixel, the pale blue dot of Earth, when Voyager turned its cameras back towards Earth from beyond Saturn, he wrote these words about that. From this distant vantage point, that of an alien scientist newly arrived at the outskirts of our solar system where Voyager 1 took the photograph, the Earth might not seem of any particular interest. But for us, it's different. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. The earth is the only world known so far to harbor life. There is nowhere else, at least in our near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit, yes. Settle, not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the earth is where we make our stand. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. And now there's a time where all of us can give. You can give at the table, and there's also an opportunity to give online.
Thank you.
Hear these words for our benediction. My friends, there is a power at work in the universe. It works through human hands, but it was not made by human hands. It is a creative, sustaining, and transforming power, and we can trust that power with our lives. It will sustain us whenever we take a stand on the side of love, whenever we take a stand for peace and justice, whenever we take a risk. Trust in that power. We are together, held by that power. Let's join together in extinguishing our chalices. We extinguish these flames, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.